pretty decent against Riki as well. Wonder if we're going to see him build the full Crimson.
Yeah, possibility. Not the most common items these days.
It is nice for... I think the logic of buying items on Pango that protect Drow is pretty sound in this game. I think for Aster to find success in the later portions, this Drow has to have some sort of freedom to stand her ground and not just get run over by Riki, by Primal Beast, by Ember.
Onslaught in with the trample. A lot of damage coming out onto Siamese Cat. Monet can't really do much, as that's going to lead to another kill on the Shadow Demon. Although Jin-Q now getting kited as Monet. Does he have actually enough damage here as a pause comes out? All right, what the horse happens now, Cinderin? Do they get the kill on this Primal Beast?
So Monet does not have multi-shot. Jin-Q does not have any stick. So yeah, Jin-Q's dead.
Okay.
There's 2 Visage Illusions hitting him as well.
Technically, I didn't give you any options. I said if he would die or not.
Okay, so. Is there another one?
Server crashes. I don't know.
I think that's the lower chance one.
Yeah, I think that one's a Hail Mary for Jin-Q here.
Yeah.
But they've killed the Shadow Demon now. Actually, it's only the first death. Siamese Cat, actually.
Yeah, I think overall, if you get this trade as Aster, you're very happy. I think this is a lane that's very scary, the Visage Primal Beast, and trading support for them should be just fine, especially with Monet getting the kill. So Jin-Q was the one who got the kill before, and arguably PSG could have maybe got this kill without dying.
Okay, not to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Okay,
you're not. Okay, we're going to restart this thing. It's been a while since we've done this. What the horse happens here? Okay. Jin-Q lives. Jin-Q dies to Monet, or Jin-Q dies to Siamese Cat, because he has Shadow Poison on
that's
him.
true. The Shadow Poison and 2 Visage Illusions.
That's right, sure.
He dies to Monet, though.
He dies to Monet, okay.
Yeah. One more hit, the Visage Illusions are going to attack as well.
All right.
Maybe that's what they're discussing as well. Who's getting the kill?
It's very important, of course. I mean, obviously, they would like it to go to Monet.
Yeah.
But in terms of a Drow game, overall, how does this feel for Aster?
I mean,
going from mid to late game.
They've got to be confident, right? They last picked it. They saw everything here. And I guess the good news for Drow is, first of all, she's empowering her own Lina, right? Which is very... It's going to make Ori's game a lot stronger if he goes some sort of physical build instead of the build that we've also seen with the Axe Burst. I think he should go a physical route probably with Drow. You have the Pango for the front line, and you do have SD for the defense. So I think it's a solid Drow game, but it's also dangerous. It's one of those situations where if you get the right positioning, you're playing against Riki, Primal Beast, and Ember, and they've used their mobility, you just crush them from range. But if they manage to get on top of you and say Shadow Demon is dead, you're kind of fighting for your life from the beginning of the fight. So, I think it's...
Okay, well, with that in mind, since we're talking about the position one, for Ame on Riki, he already did get the Ring of Health that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Will he actually turn this into a Battle Fury? Or is that too greedy?
I don't know.
Because, again, Diffusal is a lot cheaper than in years past when Riki was a little bit more popular.
I mean, let's look at it from the perspective of why else would you buy a Ring of Health, right?
To live.
He already has really good base HP recent. He has good armor, and he's playing against a lane that's not that strong. So I don't know if he needs the ring for sustenance in the lane.
Hold on. Jin-Q.
Patay.
He will die to Siamese Cat.
See, so here's the thing. He got the passive block there.
Oh wow.
Yep, that's a factor we didn't consider, whether he was going to block.
When you say we, you mean you. You did not
consider it either.
Beyond getting kited a bit more now by Monet.
He might actually kill him here.
Yeah, he could. Multi-shot is there, and that's going to be enough. TP is coming in now.
That's what you have to write.
Jin-Q, onslaught. Oh, disgusted, immediate cancellation. That would have been option D. They killed both of them, and they split it.
All right, so every prediction we had was actually wrong.
That is correct.
Not even
Ori, he's going to get glimpsed back, but
nice
disruption is there. Searing Chains, not available here, but Ori will drop nonetheless. There's nothing to say with the Sleight of Fist.
Oh, and he's even going to get a regen rune here for his troubles. Just needs to wait until the Shadow Poison runs out. They can pop it. They could dive here. I think, did SD see this rune be picked up by the... He did have a ward on it. So, Pichu shouldn't be too surprised.
has made the trip over as well, and he's hungry for some Shadow Demon. Disruption on himself, but this is going to just delay the inevitable here as another kill goes the way of PSG LGD. Ori does connect on the LSA. Baboka's here as well, but they don't have enough lockdown.
No arrow
as Ori was not, he's not quite level 6, so no Laguna Blade would have been enough.
Important for LGD to be winning this mid lane, because this top I think this top lane went better for Aster than you could have hoped for. Monet being level 6 now against level 4 Visage. Close to level 5 at the very least for Faith Beyond, but let's say a full level advantage. I don't know if this kill... Okay, with Primal it's definitely going to be possible. Yep, they're getting a great angle here in Monet.
Monet inside the kinetic field. All he can do is pop that multi-shot, and it looks like, oh, okay. Gets gusted away, but back with the glimpse, and Monet falls to the ground as PSG LGD get another valuable kill.
Yeah, that's what happens when Shadow Demon has already rotated mid. He's not there for the immediate cover, and they grab that nice kill. I wonder if Monet is even going to go back to top lane now. He might just go jungle. He's level 6. Has Tread's Wraithband. He farms pretty quickly in that jungle, and you can give the top lane to another hero and just accept that once in a while there's going to be some sort of dinosaur bus just driving by and killing your SD, and it's like, oh well, whatever, you know. He'll go bottom at for now with a dust, so looking to gank on his Drow minute 7, a classic play we see all the time.
Yeah, that is very interesting. As Ame, we can see, is just gonna have to watch that tier 1 tower fall.
It's such an early tower. They didn't have a siege creep remaining either. There's just no resources for LGD to hold on to this.
Searing Chains, Ori's in a lot of trouble. There's the trample onslaught combo as Jin Q able to help finish off the Lina. Laguna Blade was used, but not to much avail. So PSG LGD kind of all over the map. They do lose their tier 1 tower at the bot lane though.
So far, their gank timings have been pretty pristine, right? Not only have they been successful in killing Ori 3 times, but it's all 2 out of 3 kills, I believe, have been exactly around the power rune timing. So nothing to say. Got the 6-minute regen after the first kill, or the second kill, and now he got the illusion rune top after the 3rd kill, minute 8. So very, very good rotation, especially from Jinkyu here on that primal. And Faith Beyond, because of the kill they found top beforehand, is level 6, so you can kind of leave him alone here. There's not many heroes that want to stand against Visage in the Dire team. Shadow Demon doesn't enjoy it, Mirana doesn't enjoy it. Tango can. That might be what they're opting for once he gets the Vanguard. Maybe you just park XXS to try to defend that tower for as long as possible.
Nothing to say. Going to the high ground here onto Aster's side. He's going to find him with a couple other heroes here from Aster, but the LSA is not going to be able to hit, so he just walks away casually.
Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there, missing the swash.
And disruption, but the Sleight of Fist to buy some time, and the Remnant away, nothing to say is A-okay. And that bought the space for Faith Beyond to take the tier 1 tower. It was a slow one, but essentially soloed it. All right, he said the Vanguard now online is Monet. He's going to get gone on here with the tricks of the trade from Ame. Kinetic Field's going to keep him in place. All he can really do is multi-shot, but gets the gust off. They have a little bit of vision, but ends up going away. As we're going to see a Laguna Blade used in the middle of the jungle here. That'll lead to a kill onto Jin Q.
Nice escape there from Moni. He needs to be patient there with the gust. Just chill, get away. It'll TP in with a bit of a helping salve here from Pichu. We have an answer, by the way, of what Ricky's going to use the Ring of Health for. What do you think it is?
Nothing.
That is correct. He's fine Diffusal.
I mean, right. Is there any reason to go Linken's this game? Not really.
I mean, ultimately, you will turn this Ring of Health into an Abyssal, right? But it's quite...
Okay, like super late game.
It's quite far away. I have to say, I love this hero. I've played it quite a bit, but almost exclusively as support. I cannot explain to you why this Ring of Health is that valuable that you must buy it. Maybe there's some sort of logic to how you're able to farm when you're not laning, like you can sustain better in the jungle, or maybe he just had a different read on the lane, that he needed it. I think now that we've seen the lane play out, it didn't really feel necessary. I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. As we can see the jump here onto Siamese Cat. Instant disruption as Jin Q looking on the sideline for the bigger kill on Monet. Pulverize is there. They're going to be able to get the support right off the bat. The trample comes in. I think the gust actually missed here from Monet. He's going to get glimpsed back, and that is going to lead to a very valuable kill, although it goes to Y. Either way, PSG LGD going to be very happy with this.
Yeah, they're going to still have their Static Storm intact, and Pulverize obviously a super short cooldown. So this support duo now of PSG LGD has insane playmaking potential. Static Storm 90-second cooldown, Pulverize a measly 32. So a lot of opportunities to just go around, look for picks. As we've already established, they're very good at killing the enemy supports, but also the Lina. I think they would love to find Ori once more. And as long as they're playing together with Nothing to Say, I don't think there's any limitations for finding kills. The defensive possibilities that Aster have through the means of Moonlight Shadow, you just cover that with the dust, and the Shadow Demon Disruption most of the time will just set up a Static Storm, right? So you You've got to be really, really careful as Aster now with how you play the map. Every time these heroes are missing, it's kind of a minefield.
Now there's XXS still in the mid lane right now, just chilling, has his Vanguard, and will be going for instantly pretty much the Crimson Guard. Yep. Again, not the most popular item these days, but against the Visage makes a lot of sense.
The prize is mine.
And I mean, they have a lot of damage on this team, so maybe he doesn't really need to go what you would usually see on the Pangoliers these days.
Yeah, the thing you could argue is that is Crimson Guard actually a better defensive item for his team than if he goes Force Lotus, for example, right? So you have multiple ways of repositioning away from Riki, of getting out of Searing Chains on the Ember. Because if he's itemizing this way for his Drow's sake, I don't think most players would buy the Crimson here in this tournament. So either it's because Aster have an idea of a specific timing with this item that they're going to try to force a good fight once it's online around Roche or around the mid tower, for example, to try to gain some ground. Or he feels like if he doesn't buy it, the Visage Birds are just too big of a problem.
Another pause here, but in terms of the flow of the game, would you say that you would favor one team at this stage?
I do like the look of this currently for LGD.
Shocker.
Well, first of all, they have a slight gold lead, and
yes, of course.
I don't think I think this Riki got off to a very good start, and as we've talked about, pretty polarizing hero. The start
LSA into Ame, Laguna Blade to follow, but
no
tricks
backup.
The trade. Yeah, the Moonlight Shadow giving cover for Ori, but allows him to initiate, but nobody to follow it up with. As Y taking a lot of damage in the meantime as the multi-shot is finishing him up from the high ground. There's the first rolling thunder of the game from XXS, but nothing to say with the Remnant in a way. Now Monet has to be careful as there are familiars just completely surrounding him. Soul Assumption is there as well, and the last right click will do it. Now the Pulverize applied to XXS. All he can do, actually, I think it's a lot of damage to that shield crash, but it doesn't last as long as it used to. Not able to get the Sun of Faith Beyond, but the Searing Chains is there. So 3 kills for PSG LGD.
We're talking a tenth of a second there from a totally different outcome, I think. Nothing to say, just barely gets off the Activate Fire Remnant.
This is just a typical Riki in pubs, man. Just hanging around, stealing some creeps here and there.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get a replay on that, because I thought Aster in the position that they were in were actually going to win that fight when I saw the Primal or the Pango roll come out. So look here where Ember ends up getting positioned now once the Pango comes out. So this is where Pango can usually find a perma chainstone, right?
Yeah, it's close.
If that connects, I think they might take down Nothing to Say, and obviously the remainder of the fight plays out completely differently. He's integral in every single kill to get afterwards. So imagine the Ember dying there. Maybe Aster take a pretty meaningful win. Instead, they lose 3. And as you said, Riki not involved in the mix. He's going to get a Diffusal Blade now, and Visage gets the Wraith Pact as well. So huge power spike now for LGD's lineup. And they will look to take full advantage.
Will be taken out.
Yep.
Just curious what the build Ame is going for. So obviously maxing Blink Strike and then Tricks of the Trade. So only 1 in Smokescreen for the moment. But
pretty standard.
The AoE, does it still increase with each one? No.
No.
Okay. Boy, it's been a while since
Yeah,
I've seen this.
you have a talent on 10 where you can take either that or the Blink Strike slow. I wonder what he's going to do here, because you can choose to go for a talent now. You can start putting more points into Smokescreen. If I were to guess, he probably takes the Blink Strike slow so he can stay on top of the Drow more easily. But there is something good to be said. I mean, the Smokescreen AoE talent is also pretty strong.
Yeah, Baboke is going to get Glimpse back. He is Moonlight Shadowed, but they have the vision, and they have the kill again as PSG LGD looking extremely good at the moment. Sleight of Fist is going to connect onto 2 as the Moonlight Shadow is about to end here. Jin Q just posturing at the high ground.
I'm looking at the game state right now, and Aster initiating into LGD's team, and I just find it so hard to find the path. They're gonna try here.
Purge to start, but an instant static storm onto XXS, but is it gonna be follow-up? Not really. It delays and perhaps just ends this engagement entirely.
The thing that's so tough is that if you don't have superior vision as the Dire, you're running in against Slight Chains out of Fog, Glimpse, Riki, who could be anywhere if he's not showing farming the top wave as he is right now, and a Primal Beast from Fog 2. There's just so many uncertainties, and your heroes aren't naturally tanky. Your only real frontliner is the Pango with the Crimson Guard. If Lina gets caught, she's kind of toast. If Drow gets caught, she also still doesn't have that Pike.
Well, thankfully for Aster, they made that change, so Primal Beast, when he uses Onslaught, you can hear it, at the very least, the sound cue. But yeah, very, very scary to walk into this team for sure.
They will access their own jungle again, which is good news for Aster. They need a bit more area to work with. Also, Ori is going to complete the BKB in 100 gold. So maybe that's going to open things up a little bit more for them.
I mean, talk to me, again, back to the Riki, as you know I'm going to go here again.
Yeah.
With a typical carry that we've been seeing a lot from PSG LGD, if you're up 5k at this stage, is that like extremely good news as a Riki? Because he hasn't been involved at all. This is just going to get amplified now as he starts to actually show up in these fights. As Siamese Cat looks like he's got the self-disrupt. Good arrow. Sassy wants to go for the roll. Faking it out here a bit. There's nothing to say. Does finish off Siamese Cat with that last slide fist, but away he goes as PSG LGD.
Oh,
very confident. Big glimpse into the static storm and pulverize. No chance for XXS. As he does not have his shard. Obviously, that is going to be the big counter to that.
Dire's bottom tower be under attack.
And we'll see if PSG LGD wants to try to go for the old Roche.
That's a good point. I actually think Pango should be buying the shard now. It's really, really valuable. But to answer your question from before, being 5k gold ahead is indeed good, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just double checking.
Being 5k gold up at 15 minutes is good. And if Riki was another carry, it would also be good. Because he's ahead by 5k. So yes, that is correct.
Well, it's a carry that hasn't done anything yet, really.
Yeah, if another carry also hadn't done anything, being 5k up would be pretty good.
All right, I see your point. Thank you, Cinder.
You're welcome. It was a great question. I'm always here to help.
As we're going to see a big smoke now from PSG LGD. Roche is at a half HP right now. They don't want to fight it, or they don't want to take it out quite yet because everybody from Aster is up here on the high ground. But they're going to try to pounce onto Ori. He's going to run right into the familiars, but they're going to go for the D-wards first instead. But there's the glimpse back. Instant stun. Here comes the rolling thunder from XXS. They're not really going to connect initially. He's nothing to say. Comes up with a big slight and the BKB proc. But Ori, he's going to return the favor with the BKB of his own. Kind of a weird engagement here as XXS now.
They have glimpse again in 2.
To the other side. But no deaths out of that fight.
That was a very clever way that PSG engaged that, and also a good response from Aster. So what LGD realized is the one thing they need to not happen is that they get clumped up and get Pango rolled, and then the artillery just starts going to town with the Drow as well as Lina. So what they do is they poke and force out the Pango roll, and then they just disengage. And now
They got the steering chains, no BKB, Ori, Soul Assumption is there, smoke screen as well, he's done. Well, they get a pretty good multi-shot, but this is going the way of PSG LGD for sure. 2-0 to start it. And nothing to say is not done here quite yet. Gets the steering chains up, but Disruption's going to delay this just for a little bit. Space Beyond continuing with his familiars, but Monet just ticking down ever so slowly. Another gust, but there's the Blink Strike from Ame. Double kill for him. Tricks of the trade, but Blink Strike back into the fray, and that's a 4th kill going the way of LGD, and this should be a free Roche as well. Riki is owning.
Yeah. He got his defusal, he came online, and he's joining. And yeah, I mean, you're starting to see part of the reason, or maybe the whole reason, that Riki was the choice here for LGD. Among a plethora of options that would have worked against this dire lineup, they went for this one. And he's hounding those supports, and he's hounding that Lina. So again, with that fight we just had, as we see the replay here, that what led to this is effectively Pango rolls on cooldown from the poke that LGD did at the outpost, and so is Lina's BKB. So I think Aster making a pretty crucial mistake here, even being positioned in that spot. I think they have no business trying to even look for a fight.
Yeah.
The Pango roll is just too big a part of their lineup. When that's on cooldown, you got to play way more defensively than that. And his hand is kind of forced when Ori gets caught. They're trying to help, but to help the friend syndrome effectively, there just gets 4 heroes killed instead of 1.
Yep, and by the way, for the Ring of Health watchers out there, it is now in Ame's backpack, so a very valuable spot right now.
Yep.
A little passive 0 regen at the moment.
He's banking on a little bit of a macroeconomic change here. Gold goes up in value, and then it is a gold ring, right? I think so. Well, let's call it.
It looks gold, yeah.
It's gold. So maybe it will increase in price. What do you think about that as a concept? What if items sold for more and more gold the later the game went? That sounds really terrible.
Then you can just replace your items completely.
That's a really awful idea. Thank you, Action Slacks, for that. Goes right in the back with Lycan Axe.
Now, Lycan Axe is cool. That was his, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. That's what I think of Slacks in general. So
I actually kind of like that. Whenever I have a really stupid idea, I'll just say it was Slacks and everyone will believe me, I think. That's good.
Yeah, that's fake news right there for sure. Fortification pop by Aster as they are at a 7k net worth, make it 8 deficit. 21 minutes. This is turning into a shellacking for sure.
And the thing is, it's not only about the goal, it's about the flow of the map, right? Like, you can be 8k gold behind, but maybe still have some sort of a meaningful direction you can find in the game. It's just terrifying. I mean, look at nothing to
they
say.
see XXS. He's trying to get up. His Rolling Thunder, he does.
Nice
if he just attempts to TP away, I doubt they will try to fight this. Jinq takes a Demonic Purge. Siamese Cat's dead.
Yeah, this tower's lost now because you don't have Pangol, so. And another instance where it feels like Aster would have been wiser to not even bother to be here. I just think these fights are too difficult, and they end up just feeding over a key cooldown here on the Pangol as well as their Shadow Demon's life to no avail, really. As PSG LGD wanted to be there with their heroes anyway, so it's not like you didn't get any meaningful trade like damage on a tower or a power rune or anything of that kind. The Invis rune still sitting bottom, and gonna see who's gonna grab this. It is an interesting rune to take on, not Ricky, Shannon. You could take it on
But the voice line is so rare.
That's true. It is a good voice line.
Trying to walk away here. Onslaught. Oh, he does see him, but gets gusted. But the glimpse back, that was just enough. Into the Static Storm. Trample is over. Oricom's BKB gets the LSA to be able to cancel it. They do get the kill onto the Primal Beast, but there's a disruption to save Monet, but not for long enough. Down goes the Drow again. Demonic Person had nothing to say, and his Remnant's going to be really slow as a result, but he has the cover of his teammates. Shadow Demon dead. Ori basically out of mana, and that means they can now initiate with the Moonlight Shadow, giving him cover.
It's running
Rolling
out
Thunder from XXS. Nice blink onto two heroes. Here comes a nice Starstorm as well. Nothing to say. Gets stunned again. Do they have enough? They do. Big kill for Aster. Need to get more out of this, though. Swashbuckle on the Y, but now they're going to control XXS as he is within arm's reach of the Ricky and the smoke screen. And down he goes. So it ends up being a 4 for 2. And the Age is still intact.
Tower be under attack.
And in the meantime, off to the side, Ame did kill off Ori in the trees. Ori tried to stick to get the mana for a stun, but immediately got smokescreen diffusal burned. There's just no way out of that. So another... It's kind of interesting that LGD's gold lead is barely growing from that fight, but I guess the Ember kill was just worth that much. He was 6-0 after all. Maybe there, if Mane pikes the Primal Beast instead of forcing himself, perhaps this goes a little bit better. And I think he could have maybe killed the Primal from behind the tower before he got glimpsed, and Lina doesn't have to expend spells on this, but it's so easy to say. Like, you're obviously going to go off a gut reaction there on what you can do.
We got the trample out of Invis from Jinq, but Hurricane Pike back into the glimpse and the Static Storm as well, but I don't think nothing to say can go any further as the pressure is being applied onto Y. As XXS wants to finish him off, and they will be able to do so. Nothing to say has to pop the BKB now in retreat. By the way, I wanted to talk about Jinq's build. He's going for Halberd on Primal Beast, which, I mean, normally we would see BKB. Is this a little, that doesn't feel like he needs it? Or is this because they feel like they're really far ahead right now?
Yeah, I kind of agree that BKB looks very strong, because you do have some quite limited freedom against a hero like Pango. Maybe part of the logic is Demonic Purge just ruins you after you've gone in, so maybe he wants to have that extra utility instead to control the Drow with the disarm. In a way, or maybe he just wants to go in and tank, right? If the goal here is that he makes space for his teammates, if you go BKB on Primal, what happens a lot of the times is that the enemy team is not going to go on you because they can't kill you. With this, he has way more EHP because he has the evasion, and he has that active disarm that he can maybe force a BKB with, or rather not force a BKB with, but keep himself alive if he charges the Drow and just halberds her, or the Lina, and then just soak damage while his team just cleans house. It's a different approach.
And they also have
almost everyone else would take, but I kind of like it here actually.
Like, even if you BKB pulverize somebody, there's always the disruption possibility to save the teammate anyway. So
absolutely,
an interesting kind of. I mean, we joke all the time about Primal Beast and his build being basically like the first two items exactly the same every single game, and BKB is almost always one of them. But not to be. He's going to be going Halberd into Shiva's, it looks like, to now have Moonlight Shadow by Aster.
It's also worth keeping in mind you have the luxury of thinking about the game entirely differently when you're 4, right? The BKB is almost always a thing on the 3 Primal because you have a bigger responsibility to deal damage. But Jinq's role in this game is more of a controlling nature than a killing one. So he's just going to charge in, mess up the fight, make space.
Oh, LSA connects. Laguna Blade as well. Static Storm just for defensive measure, but it's not enough. Nothing to say is dead. Does have the buyback. Not sure if he wants to use it in this engagement. It looks like they're going to lose their Primal Beast as well.
Okay.
Nice setup there by Aster, baiting the rune.
That ward, value for them, getting that Ember kill, and the Primal Beast trying to help out. Gives them a little bit of a bonus kill, and that's also going to be a mid-tier 1 tower. Good news for them is Roche cannot be up yet, so LGD will not be losing that, but they lose quite a bit of ground. This is the start of a potential comeback for Aster.
Radiant's middle
This game. Do they get a meaningful item out of this? So Lina's going to finish Silver Edge, so they have that break now.
Monet's
And the
BKB about to come as well.
Yep, Monet BKB. That was a very important moment for Aster because of what it leads to now in terms of just a little bit of downtime and getting these 2 specific items now. Opens up a possibility for them to maybe make more out of this.
Prize is mine.
Ame closing in on his BKB. I was wondering if he was going to go for that or something else, but has opted to go that route. This is the kind of game where you could maybe justify not getting that magic immunity, but getting more in the way of like a Basher or... I don't know if you want to be cute and buy Ags on the and jump into Ember or something like that.
I mean, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good, but I think you need more damage before that becomes meaningful.
no
I think
doubt.
you want the Basher first most of the time before you do that. So
Is that enough? You don't need like a Daedalus or some hardcore item?
not. I mean, it depends on the target, right? It feels really good because Ember offers you the immunity of the BKB, right? So you don't really need to worry about the protection when you go in. So you get to do a lot
Mindbreaker
of free
though,
damage.
pretty freaking good on Ricky.
Yeah.
Instant blink strike silence, so you don't have to smoke screen immediately. You have a little bit of extra time.
He kills Shadow Demon in a heartbeat, basically.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a Force Staff, so if he just jumps him, he's dead. Interesting, by the way, to see that from Aster. Nobody bought one except the Drow.
Oh, what? The force?
Yeah, so they're eyeing it up now on the Mirana, but you opted to go for the Wraith Pact first, which is understandable. Like, that item is, of course, very, very powerful in this meta and the way teams are playing. But Siamese Cat's game is just that bad that he's not even close, and he's going
He's got
for
the
mono.
4-man's Force Staff, which is a Tumbler's Toy, which gets deactivated when you take damage.
Yep.
Not so helpful, maybe. Q instantly silenced and deleted off the map.
Oh, they
Actually
found
Ame, but he pops the BKB. But obviously, for the first BKB, not the type of usage that he would have wanted.
What is it with this game and LGD getting BKBs off with like no time before that would connect again? Am I missing something about that change where you can BKB between? Is it just me overhyping something that doesn't exist here? Because you remember that, right?
I do, and I'm forgetting the details as well.
So Rolling Thunder used to be a perma-stun if you stayed on top of the targets, right? So the internal cooldown was low enough. I think with level 2 Rolling Thunder, the stun is long enough because it scales up and there's no status resistance on the Riki. So I want to say that Riki and Ember can get chain stunned by a roll level 2, but you're the Pango player, so you can definitely tell me.
Yep, moving on. I can't remember. Yeah.
I do think it needs to be level 2 before it perma.
I mean, that was mostly for the chain, for the shard, right? When you're rolling thunder and then you just shard on top of them.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yep, that's going to be the deletion of XXS. LGD want to fight immediately. Shadow Demon's going to get, oh, nice disruption on self, so it's going to cancel the glimpse, but he still will have to cancel his own life, and this could lead to Roche.
Aster just got a great comeback, and now they get caught off in the middle on their Pango, and this is just a free Roshan. I don't see what's stopping LGD from doing this well. They're going to de-ward first.
That ward looks pretty juicy.
Cover the area. AC on Visage should make this a lot easier, and you know, whenever Ricky is with any sort of teammates doing the Roche, he's actually not the worst Roche killer in the world, because you get backstab on every attack until Roche randomly decides to target you for some reason.
Yeah, it feels like Roche really hates Ricky's. Yeah. That's for sure. Just like
the shard is going to go on Ricky, so now we'll get that sleeping dart. Very, very good shard. I mean, the primary reason that for Ricky was actually even a thing after shards came out, because it used to be a thing before shard even existed, and then it just faded away from existence for like 3 years.
What was the meme build was sleep dart into Meteor Hammer, right?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be seeing that, just going out
I
of
don't
the limb
think so
here. Oh, the Gust coming out. XXS gets the Blink Dagger off. This Visage is taking a lot of damage. It's going to be enough to actually get beautiful rolls coming out from XXS. They take him out 2-0 to start this fight. But Ori, stuck inside of no man's land, he gets brought down to his knees. Buyback coming out of the Disruptor now, but look, the heroes from PSG LGD are very low. They're going to lose the Aegis pretty much right off the bat as well. Now he's surrounded, pops the BKB, trying to focus down the Shadow Demon. The Disruption comes out, but nope, not going to be enough. Nothing to say with the Sleight of Fist. Double kill for Ame. So PSG LGD, I mean, I don't even know who won that fight. There was a buyback coming out. They lose the Aegis. It would have been really bad if they didn't have Aegis.
I think given the fact that there was an Aegis on the other team, I think Aster should be happy with this. And I love the way they executed it. They chain stunned and killed Visage 100-0. They recognized that there's no defensive tools to keep him alive for LGD, and he's the aura carrier. They get the Wraith Pact and the AC out of the fight by killing this guy. So choosing that as your primary target here, very, very good. So look at this. So Pango roll stun is going to turn there with the shard, stun again. And he's trying now to use the shard on Visage, but does just barely get killed. If that shard goes off and he gets Stone Farm cast there, I think Aster will lose this fight horribly, because then the AC is in play.
Yeah.
And the Vlad's while he's immune there. So very, very important that they find that finish.
Not too shabby. As Ame now working on the Eye of Scotty. And actually not that far away.
This is a moment that Aster could be looking to do something with. They used Moonlight Shadow and have a bottle BD.
Man, there's a lot of invis. There's a Riki, there's Moonlight Shadow, there's Silver Edge, and I believe Aghanim Scepter soon for Visage. Sentries are going to be kind of game-winning, I feel like.
I wonder if Axe is the right choice on Visage, if that's the best item he can buy here. Does feel like something like Hex could be valuable, or like does he have that much responsibility to do damage here is my question. Like when you're offering these 2 auras to your team already, maybe you can get more in the way of utility or survivability. I guess Axe is like a little bit of survivability, but I don't know. Not sure if Axe is the best purchase.
Well, Aster do have their first 4 staff now, outside of Monet, of course.
They don't have Moonlight, so are they going to be spotted here? This Glimpse.
Yeah, the Glimpse back. Monet, he's going to get disrupted, so doesn't need to pop it, but the Mirana is going to die for her sins. Monet pops the BKB inside that Static Storm. There's nothing to say. He's getting melted inside. Gets off the Sleight of Fist and able to remnant away. And now Ame trying to focus on Monet, but has to reset. Buyback coming out of the Shadow Demon, as it looks like Jin Q falls to XXS. And the fight ends up resetting here. 6K lead for PSG LGD. And in terms of the net worth swing, it's kind of even because of the buyback.
Aster are doing a great job after being under the amount of pressure we talked about and the type of lineup they're playing into. I think it's very admirable how they've managed to kind of stabilize this game, and that seems very winnable. I want to point out, we were talking about, at least, maybe I didn't get to say that, but Riki was considering a Nullifier before, but he changed his mind, so Ame's not going to go for the Eye of Scotty. He's going to have more tank ability. He's going to have that reliable slow, which Nullifier also offers, obviously, to an extent, but he's playing against these BKBs. So opting to get that Scotty so he can, maybe just for the sake of, I just want to stay on Drow. They literally just be on top of her, pressure her out of that marksmanship.
Don't forget the Ring of Health.
And he still has the Ring of Health, yes.
Oh, he just sold it. Okay.
It was an investment.
Well, he bought it and used it, I want to say, for 10 minutes. Is that an exaggeration?
Nope. That's about right.
That maybe we can get a little timer next time we see the Riki pick. And
I was paying attention to, like, okay, when he's farming jungle, is he getting a lot of value out of the Ring of Health? If he didn't have it, I think he was full health the whole time, basically. So it might have been fine either way. Well, at the end of the day, the Ring of Health only costs half of what he paid, right? Because he gets the refund. So
very true. XXS gets off a nice rolling thunder, trying to control the Disruptor. Only gets the 1 stun though, as Monet pops the BKB, but has to reset. There's nothing to say. He's all alone here on the high ground. Gets off the Sleight of Fist, and the Remnant's able to buy enough distance to live. And a rolling thunder continuing to go for XXS. Ame able to get tricks of the trade-off onto the low ground with the Blink Strike. They've lost their Primal Beast.
Aster stands so strong in this position. This is like the dream spot to play Drow Shadow Demon. You have the hill. Shadow Demon gets to play keep away in the back and get a good disruption out. You just need to outlast this BKB on the Riki and on the Ember, and they can't fight you anymore. So LGD really trying to put that pressure onto Aster and get control of another area of the map, but Aster are just ready for it. They have good formation. Another great rolling thunder once again from XXS just took Disruptor out of the fight from the beginning.
Ori trying to delete the Disruptor, 1 right click away. They will find him. It looks like Shadow Demon gets into the disruption just in time, and nothing to say melts. Ame gets the blink strike off. Make it 2 now as Faith Beyond kind of stuck. Need to use the shard here to keep himself alive for the time being. That's going to set up a potential stun from the LSA. Now the right clicks come, and that should be more than enough damage for Aster to eat through 2 cores for PSG LGD. And the tier 2 tower will fall as well.
This game, minute 22, Gaben gave Radiant 88% chance of winning.
And then Ricky started fighting, and suddenly
he's sold his ring of health and it's been downhill ever since. We're down to
technically true.
67% chance now for Aster.
Man.
Not that the graphs are gospel, but it is looking very good for them. Ember no buyback, Visage half a minute. Aster gonna try to squeeze as much out of this as they can. And this is what Drow lineups do when they win a team fight.
Indeed.
Bye-bye barracks, 5-second push to kick both of those out after the tower falls. Aster now taking control of the game, and you would imagine if they get this third Roche, they will be feeling very, very confident about taking the win here after a rough early mid game. Just weathered the storm, had good positioning, and to me, once again, XXS Pango showing why they rated this hero as they did when they picked it.
Yeah, once he got
really
the Blink Dagger, he has been on point with these Rolling Thunders, no doubt. And he has a full Shivas now. Where did that come from?
Very tanky.
Gracious me.
Yep.
At this point, what does PSG LGD need to do? Because it feels like they're trying to force these fights, and like you said, the positioning from Aster has just been on point. They've been ready, it feels like, for every little engagement.
I think LGD needs to be wiser about the areas that they fight in. I think the last 2 or 3 team fights they've lost have been on Aster high grounds, where they have tried to get in and get superior vision, but the Pango has just been ready every time and canceled out the disruptor from the fight. Maybe you chill. Maybe you farm up this Ags on Y, and you try to use that to set up a fight later. You just need to cool down. If you start forcing now, like brute forcing more aggressive plays, I think it's just going to backfire even harder.
He is only 500 away from Ags,
It's
actually.
close. Faith Beyond, by the way, went for a Force Staff. He changed his mind away from that Axe himself because he's realizing, well, when they get on top of me, I'm kind of screwed. With this item, he can reposition away from the Drow and the Lina and try to stay alive. And arguably, this should have been on one of the supports, right? I feel like it's something I've been harping on a bit in this playoff. I think teams are buying Force Staff too little. One of the teams that's been doing it very successfully a lot of the time, I want to say, is Tundra. They've been buying quite a lot of Force Staffs in their games, if I'm not mistaken, and really take advantage of that positioning.
Oh, we got a smoke here from Aster. And we can see Ricky has the double damage. Static Storm immediately used, but again, the Rolling Thunder from XXX, but no, the BKB comes out from Ame, not able to get the double stun off here. So Aster might be wanting to retreat, as Baboka will live through this. They're getting some D-ward action down. Not sure if either team wants to fight again. Another Shadow Blade. Man, so much invis in this game. And Roche. This could be game deciding on either side, really. Imagine getting an Ags on, like, Ricky, for example. After going for this, looks like nothing to say went for the Daedalus, or is going for it now.
Do you think they'll give it to Ricky or to Ember, is my question.
Probably
I think
Ember.
The Ember one is also really valuable. I think nothing to say is running out of remnants.
It matters not. It's a refresher shard, Cinderin.
Yeah. That was a good talk.
Yep. Keep talking about it if you want, though. No problem.
Only 20 minutes and 30 seconds away from tier 5 neutral items, Shannon. Better prepare.
Oh, one of these days we're gonna get it.
There's nothing you want more in Dota
That's true. It's so
than for
fun.
pro games to go 60 minutes so you could talk about your items.
That's right.
And I think all the time we've cast together has happened once.
Moonlight Shadow, Faith Beyond. Trying to find some
good
distance here.
Rolling
Rolling
Thunder.
Thunder. Fire. LSC and the Laguna Blade. He's dead. No buyback at all as Ori. His right clicks are not something you can ignore. They are able to find the Mirana though, so it's a 1-for-1. But again, much more value kill coming out from Aster. And now Roche, they're going to see he's up. They scouted out.
Just another amazing Rolling Thunder from XXS, and that time around gets connected on a max duration arrow onto Ricky. Did not get Force Staff by Faith Beyond out of that stun chain. And as we covered, no defensive tools really aside from that. Glimpse will send XXS away, but he's just playing zone control, getting that refresher over to Lina, and they will be like, you know what, XXS, your rolling thunder's been pretty good, so you can have a second one.
Yeah,
Give him the shard.
They don't really have the best refresher shard heroes, other than obviously the BKBs, which
It's pretty decent on Lina, but I guess she can't support it yet with her item build. She doesn't have enough mana with the right-click build.
Yeah, nowhere near. So, maybe she had like a Shiva's or something. But now the MKB online for Ori, so even if the BKB is down, smoke screen, you can just kind of ignore it for the most part, in terms of just right-clicking at least. Tier 1 tower is dead now, so Aster flipping this game completely around. What does LGD need to do? High ground defense time?
They're going to be forced into that position more than likely, right? The problem is their lineup is largely built around playing from ahead, right? You have Primal Beast who wants to charge in and take command of the fight and then glimpse heroes back, but once you're on defense, your heroes don't have the same kind of teamfight impact, right? It's a lot harder for Disruptor to find the place that he wants without using an offensive glimpse. And as we've seen time and time again, he's been struggling to even get to play his hero. Maybe in the base, and with the axe, they can, okay, they're gonna sleep into the storm.
Yep, Static Storm is there, Blink Strike as well, the BKBs, but Disruption buys a lot of time, and he's A-okay as Ori. He's gonna get the instant kill onto Nothing to Say, who does not have buyback. And now they're gonna turn this around onto the Primal Beast. This is looking like the beginning of the end of game number 1 as Aster have come back with a vengeance. They were down big time early, but ever since the Blink Dagger came from XXS, as the GGs come out, it was just one-sided. Just a crazy game.
Isn't it kind of ironic how we're talking about how Ricky either snowballs or gets crushed, and in this game he did both?
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
He was really impressive when he wasn't in the fights.
And
then the instant he got the items to fight, looked really bad.
Yeah, I mean, credit primarily again here in this game to Aster, doing an amazing job on playing defense on their own high grounds. And you know, this is what Drow lineups can do. If Drow stays alive in the fight and she gets to play, and you have Alina just playing secondary artillery, they really needed XXS to play a standout game, so thankfully for them he did. I think if Engo in this game does not play at the absolute peak level, this could have very well snowballed out of control way faster, and LGD could have grabbed the W there. So Aster, if you know they have a good history against LGD, we said, is it going to matter here on this stage? This is not how they beat them in DPC.
No,
this is not the type of game they've been playing, but worked.
Worth awaiting. Game 1. Team Aster win.